Going to grow from around $350 billion to a base case of approaching $1.1 trillion by 2040. I'm Adam Jonas. We are Morgan Stanley.
Many of the moon's nicknames date back to the early Native Americans. They named each full moon in every month to help them keep track of their planting and harvesting schedule. The full moon in April is known as the pink moon, signaling the first appearance of the wild ground phlox, one of the earliest spring flowers. When you have two full moons in a calendar month, the second one is called the blue moon. One of the more notable moons, the harvest moon in October, also known as the hunter's moon or the blood moon. This is when the leaves are falling off the trees and the animals are fat. So this signaled to tribes it was time to hunt all they could to get them through that long winter. And another thing to note is that the moon does not appear pink during the pink moon, red during the blood moon, or blue during the blue moon. The only thing that can really alter the way we see the moon is if there's a lot of dust, haze, ash, or smoke in the atmosphere. The moon can sometimes have an orange or red glow.
That's bullshit. Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor as due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders, the apostles, the great millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in the gospel abroad, lift up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi, wherever it may be. This is just another lesson through the Spirit. Show you that the times we're living in, we're clearly in the end. That's funny because I was just doing a little research, reading a report that how the Pentagon has to like the middle of June to declassify pretty much all these so-called UFO reports because now everybody is seeing the chariots. Like they're blaming what we saw Saturday night during the Feast of First Fruits. Saturday night, they're blaming that on Stargaze or some Starlink bullshit, some Elon Musk type nonsense. And it's clearly that was the chariots of the Most High because they went through one portal to the next portal and it reached us. So Esau is full of crap, man. All right, because even at that time you had helicopters that were flying, hoovering over the city. So they seen what we saw. And if that was Stargate or whatever they want to call it, Starlight or some whatever the hell he's calling it. If it was that, then they wouldn't alerted the authorities so urgently if that was the case. Okay, so it says here the moon is about to eat. Look, this man is finished. It says, look, the moon is about to put on a bit of a show. It says the full moon on Monday, on May 26th, Salakia, will be the first total lunar eclipse since January 2019, according to Earth Sky. Now, I remember back in 2014, we had what they call a tetrad or a tetrad, which means it's like 4 consecutive blood moons, all right? You had them both years. You had them in the spring of 2014 and in the fall, followed by 2015. I think it was like a total of 4 blood moons that ran concurrent. Now, they were talking about they wasn't going to see another phenomenon like that to 50, 60 years in the future. But yet, we've seen blood moons pretty much every other year. Well, every so many years, every so often, we see them. We seen them 2 years ago. We seen it the year before. They just been popping up on radar like crazy, which shows you that Esau, he can't predict the mind of the Most High because these are clearly signs. And with all this stuff going on in the world too, it's clearly evident that the Lord is getting ready to make his return. It says it would take the moon just under 3 hours to cross through the Earth's shadow, but the actual lunar eclipse will last about 15 minutes. Okay. It says a lunar eclipse occurs when the sun, the Earth, and the full moon align. And during these eclipses, the moon will have the reddish hue from the sunlight filtering through Earth's atmosphere, according to NASA. Many have labeled this a blood moon, blase, blase. It says, depending on your location, you might be able to get a glimpse of part of the eclipse. Most of North and South America will be able to see it in the early morning hours, while Eastern Asia and Australia will see it in the evening. It says in the United States, the total eclipse will begin at 7:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and end at 7:26. It says it will be partially visible from 5:45 to 8:52. So to check whether you'll be able to see the eclipse where you go and live, blase, blase. But it says here is also the flower supermoon, and it will be the closest moon to the Earth in 2021, according to Earth Sky. The moon will be at 100% full at 7:14, and that's clearly evident, man. All right, I mean, there's no getting around these things. All right, because he can call it warm moon, red moon, whatever you want, but we understand according to the scriptures These are signs of the heavens, okay? Because matter of fact, let's get that in Genesis, first chapter. Genesis 1, and I'm going to start at verses 14. It says, and the power said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years, okay? The signs. So clearly, the sign of impending doom we're getting ready to face here is because, like I said, we've been seeing all these signs. All right, so it's no coincidence that World War III is getting ready to pop off. You got the economic collapse. You got the whole the stab and jab. Also, they're talking about a new variant and all this other stuff. It's just going to be judgment after judgment after judgment. Okay, it says here there are 2 to 4 supermoons each year, and they're often brilliant sight because they're brighter and larger than a normal full moon. It says the definition of a supermoon varies, but is generally defined by how close the Earth moon is to the Earth. It says here the full moon is called the flower moon. It may because when flower blossoms, according to the north part of America, according to the old farmer's almanac. But it says many Native American tribes across the country also took inspiration from spring's blossom when naming May's full moon, according to Western Washington Universal Planetarium. Reason why God got taken down because they were dealing with a lot of sorcery, a lot of idolatry, worshiping the moon, worshiping the sun, naming it certain things, like that movie Apocalypto. That clearly shows you why the northern tribes were put in captivity, why their land was taken. All right, but Esau, he's not innocent either. But it says here the Anishinaabe tribe of Great Lakes region called the full moon. It's called the Wabegwani Gaziz or blossom moon, and the Lakota tribe on the northern plains called it a Kanwaptui or moon of the green leaves. It says some tribes named the moon after a popular red berry, with the Powhatan tribe in the Great Lakes region calling it the Timikins, and the Shawnee tribe in the Midwest calling the Hotehimini is Hotehimini Himini Kishvatha, both which means translate to strawberry moon. Okay, so they had particular names for it. But according to the scriptures, man, scriptures say that the moon was going to turn as red as blood. Didn't have all that special name shit to it. But that's our people, being extra. But it says here that all the full moons remaining of this year and their names according to the old almanac. You got June 24th, June 23rd, a bug moon, August 22nd, September 20th, October 20th, November 19th, December 18th. Okay, so these are different moons to it. Different names, Salakia. Solar lunar eclipses, and I'm just kind of going through it, man. It says this year would be 2 eclipses of the sun and 2 eclipses of the moon. See, there we go. And 3 of these would be visible for some people in North American code to Old Farmer's Almanac. It says the annual eclipse of the sun will happen on June 10th, visible north and northeastern North America at 4:12 a.m. to 9:11 a.m. The sun won't be fully blocked by the moon, but be sure to wear eclipse glasses to see if you see this event. November 19th will see a partial eclipse of the moon, and sky watchers in North America and Hawaii can view it between 1 a.m. Eastern Time and 7:06. It says, and this year will end with the total eclipse of the sun, of December 4th, and it won't be visible in North America, but in the Falkland Islands, in the southern tip of Africa, Antarctica, and southeastern Australia, we'll be able to spot it. Visible planets. It says sky watchers have multiple opportunities to spot the planets during certain mornings and events through 2021. It says Mercury will look like a bright star in the morning from June 27th to the 16th. October 18th to November 1st, it will shine in the night sky from October 31st to the 21st. So these are all signs in the heavens, man. Okay. Look at this. Wow. So yeah, I ain't gonna read no more. Yep, these are all signs of the heavens. But anyway, reading Genesis 1 and 14, it says, and the power said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the days from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. All right, so that's clearly a sign right there that the Most High is getting ready to do some serious damage on this planet, man, because, hey, Yahawashi said it best. Matter of fact, let's get that in Matthew 16. It says the Pharisees also with the Sadducees came tempting, desired him that he would show them a sign from heaven. And he answered and said it to them, when it is evening, ye said, it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. And in the morning it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. Oh, you hypocrites, you can discern the face of the sky, but you cannot discern the signs of the times. All right, because right now we got all these different galactic events. They're talking about solar storms. You got all these earthquakes. Dabu brought out how the poles have shifted. Like if you've seen that movie 2012, basically the earth was reclaiming itself because the poles pretty much they shifted, which caused a lot of what they call geological shifting, which means that you had a lot of earthquakes, tsunamis, what else you call it, a lot of floods, a lot of damages. The movie 2012 depicted that. They had to get on something which was called the Ark, which was to save the remnant of the people that were masterminds so they can bring back the rest of the people. Okay, so there's clearly the signs here. But anyway, this is the book of Matthew 24, and I'm going to start at verses this start at 26. No, let's call 26. No, 27. It says here, as for lightning coming out of the east and shining even into the west, so should the coming of the Son of Man be. For whatsoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together, meaning that you're going to have a lot of birds, because there's going to be a lot of dead bodies. All right, it says, and immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. So these are all signs pointing to the second coming of Yahawashi. All right, because let's go down to 32. It says, now learn the parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, he putteth forth leaves. Ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise, ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. So once again, got a blood moon coming in the morning, or later on tonight, early morning. And Yahawashi clearly told us that this was part of the signs of his coming. Because let's go from here to Revelation, the 6th chapter. And start at verses 12. It says here, and I beheld when he had opened the 6th seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. Okay, that's a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casts her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. Okay, and this represents the destruction that's coming there shortly thereafter. Because you go to Acts, the 2nd chapter, Acts 2 and 21, he reiterated the prophecy in Joel. Okay, Acts 2 and 17, it says here, but this is that which was spoken by the prophet Joel. And it should come to pass in the last days, says Yahweh, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And that literally means all flesh. Okay, Carrie Hilson, she's having visions and dreams. Regular 2/3 are having visions and dreams. So even heathens are having dreams at the end. Even the Most High put the spirit on Balaam the prophet. Okay, and it says, and I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh. And your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. And on my servants and on my handmaids I will pour out in those days of my spirit, and they shall prophesy. And I will show wonders in heaven above, and the signs in the earth beneath, blood and fire and vapor of smoke. And the sun should be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before that great and notable day of the Lord comes. So, it's going to be one day that we're going to have a blood moon and an eclipse, and the Lord is going to end up coming, following that, because the scriptures just say that. But for now, these are all events leading up to that. But it's going to be that one time that when it happens, that's how you know Yahawashi is going to come back. Because the scriptures say that the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. And it says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. All right. So, brothers, expect, like Esau said, he said, look, we're expecting to have a violent summer because, the food shortages, the gas prices that went up, the gas shortages. He said that we're expecting to have a violent summer. So they're going to have these cops on standby because they're expecting things to get ugly. And with these signs, these blood moons, these solar eclipses, it's just that. Where was I going to go with this? Oh, okay. Second Esdras 9. Second Esdras 9 and 1. It says, and he answered me and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest the part of the signs which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that this is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Okay, so that's why all these uproars, like if you go over there to Colombia, hey man, they tearing shit up. Okay, you go to France, they tearing shit up. It's just you stupid ass Americans, you're the only ones that don't know how to fucking get your heads out your ass and go out there and do what you gotta do, man. You know, because there ain't no reason why it shouldn't be riots in the streets. You are getting duped and played by these bankers. Okay, it says here, and thou shalt understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt very well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. These are signs, man. Okay, take heed. It says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and work and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And this is nothing more than an effect and a sign. Look at this. It says our closest neighbor in the solar system would appear in the western sky at dusk in the evening of May 24th to December 31st. After the moon is the second brightest object in our sky. So they're talking about planets popping up, visible planets. And these are all the different moons and shit that's going to pop up, blood moon. So, yeah, brothers, we in them times. But anyway, with that, all praises and glory, honor that's due to Yahawashi, Yahawashi. And with that, shalom and a baba ball.